it depends on the product, what kind of product you have, and you have to accordingly satisfy the customer about the products. It may be if you
offers discounts.
Offers discounts, okay, anything else?
Also the feasibility is clear now.
Just think about your kind of product that you have written down. Please think about it. You have written down cakes, you have written down honey, you have written down cherries, saffron, and whatnot. Please think that because here the product you cannot change, right? It is as it is. How can you enhance the value of the product for end consumer? Okay, so for that we need to know what is value, and we all saw that value is benefit that you receive versus the cost that you are bearing for it, right? And cost could be anything that you can see on your screen. It could be time. Suppose yesterday you searched for that brand, right, which says not available right now, which means there is a time value. You have to wait for that particular product. This waiting time is a cost to consumer. Consumer does not want to wait. So time is a cost, right? But then sometimes you would come across that something is higher priced. So price is of course a cost for consumer, that we understand. What are the other costs when it says personal and social? There are some brands that you would want to display. You are carrying the iPhone, that gives you a benefit because it gives you a social status. And sometimes some products you want to hide because you don't want to make it public or display in public. So that becomes a cost. Okay? So cost and benefit analysis when you do for consumers with respect to your product, whether it is cherry or honey or saffron or any product that you have written, IT services or media channels, right? Cost and benefit. When I talk about media channels, don't feel left out because we are discussing only Agri products. So media channels, I don't know whether you have heard of it, Gravitas. Gravitas is a channel which has made it big because it values customer time. So when you are viewing 10 minutes video, you want all information in that 10 minutes and only the right information, compact information. You don't want people shouting and 10 minutes is wasted without knowing what happened in the debate, right? So that is what is that media channel's value proposition or USP, that giving you value for your time that you view that particular media, right? Or watch that particular media or channel, giving you value for your time. Right information, compact information, concise information and 10 minutes. That was that channel's value proposition. Similarly, for your kind of honey or saffron or cherry, what is that value proposition that you have, whatever USP that you have decided? How can you enhance that more? That is what is the question. How can you enhance that more? So suppose the honey is available in a glass bottle versus a plastic bottle. Container, we are not even talking about the packaging. Packaging is outside, right? We are talking about the container. Glass bottle versus a plastic bottle. Does it, it's the same honey which is inside. Honey wise there is no difference. But container wise there is difference. And does it enhance or reduces the value of that particular product? Yes, it does. Why? Because when you say your honey is pure and has been procured from Himalayan, this part, right, from honeybee, certain type, whatever, right, you also would want to show it in a way that it is protected, very much protected.
Other items with the package like spoon and stuff.
So we will come to that. That can enhance the value, right? So with that, not spoon. You have seen how honey is spread over different things. It's not wooden kind of thing. If that you are providing with your honey, that's definitely a value addition because it leads to more fun while enjoying the, right? Makes it more attractive. But before that, the container also adds value to it or reduces the value of it. When you are offering it in a glass bottle, it makes it more premium. At the same other contamination, makes the shelf life better, keeps the taste in right place for a long time, right? Which is why different perfumes, high-end perfumes, they never make themselves available in a plastic bottle. Right. It is fragile. It comes at a cost to business because you have to handle it delicately. Logistically, it might be challenging, but it adds value to end consumer. And which is why, as a business, even though it logistically makes sense for you to make it available in a plastic bottle, you would not do it because it is not a value for end consumers. For certain kind of products, it is okay. But for certain kind of products, you need to see that what is that value that gets enhanced on this particular product, by the container, plastic bottle versus glass bottle. Okay. How else you can enhance the value? Now let's go to one layer up, which is packaging. Packaging. Okay. How premium it looks, how attractive it looks, how informative it looks, right? The color palette selection, right? Your brand logo selection, those are important. I am not going to go through that. Those are important and you know it. But how informative can your packaging be versus how appealing can your packaging be? There has to be balance. It cannot be only information. It cannot be only appealing. There has to be a right balance. For that, please look at premium products packaging, which tell you do's and don'ts with the product, which gives you instruction as to how to store the products, what is the temperature should be, where it should be kept, where it should be stored, how it should be maintained, right? And what are the end usage, where the best taste can be experienced of the product. Make the do's and don'ts very, very clear to end consumers because that is where they derive added value from the product. So that is what you need to be worried about. Okay? So when we say value of the product without modifying the product, start from container to packaging to information and appeal balance. Now let me also tell you another. So there are small sachets that are available. Sometimes you will find it very easy to tear. Sometimes it's not easy. People struggle with that. Okay. Next time will you buy that? Never. And what killed it for that business? It's the packaging that killed it, not the product. Product might be very good. Okay? So that is also benefit and cost for consumers. You pay 5 rupees for 2 products. One is easier to open, one is not. And that is a cost to consumer. Because the moment you open it with that much struggle, it spills all over the place. And you cannot experience the product. Okay? So as a business, these are small things which need to be kept in mind. You all probably know your product well, but please know the steps around your product. Steps around your product, right? Different layers of the product. Starting from container to packaging, from information to appeal of the product. Okay. So we'll take just 1 minute break. Meanwhile, any question you can ask. If any question. For your kind of product, you make sure whether glass container is better, tin container is better, what kind of container is better, Tetra Pak is better, poly pack is better, what is adding value to your existing product. Okay? And consumers, when they open it, they are not going to consume it right there, right? They will still store it for other occasions. So whether your container is good enough to store it for future occasions or not, that is also important. And these things, if you are overlooking, then you are not adding value to your product. Okay? So these are also important.
Well, it will be in the right change because the product we cannot can be good become more big service in the UOP.
Like the media or IT or she told about consulting services. Right? So there you don't worry about, of course, value addition by container. So when we move from physical to digital product, where do you add value and how? This is another pressing question. For digital products, how do you add value? Anyone else before I interview? For digital products, how do you add value? That we already discussed, right? Precise content in a very short time, value for that time, etc. How else? What is a digital product?
Dynamic smart services.
So let's talk about services. Also digital products like his product is, your product is. So for services, you do not of course have a physical layer around it. You do not have a container, you do not have a packaging. So where do you add value to customers? Right? So for services, pre and post, during the service, all three are equally important. So while you are providing the service, how much disturbance are you creating while providing the service? How much the consumers are feeling interrupted while you are providing the service? Right? So during COVID, of course, all of us shifted online. And online video calls, meetings, etc. There are clear service providers there. Like Zoom is one, MS Team is one, Google is one. So these service providers, how are they adding value through their products? Have you observed how are they adding value? So initially when these platforms people started using, there were not many features. Simple video call. So you might have used Skype long time back.
Yeah.
Skype is what? Not good for group video calls. Only one-to-one it is good. So that product has specific disadvantage. It's again, service. Product plus service, digital product, so have disadvantage. So next platforms, MS Team, Google and Zoom, they have added this feature for group call. So suddenly during COVID, people shifted to these group calls and they started preferring other platforms over Skype. Earlier the Skype was an option. During COVID, other platforms were preferred because of these group call features. Slowly and gradually, they shifted, they added different layers to the product. Because while in group call, if everyone starts speaking, it is no more a call, it's a call.
Yeah,
So you need to have option to mute people, unmute people, then your reactions, right? Whether to clap and thumbs up. Many features they added by observing consumers very, very quickly. They added features. Even the teaching softwares that we use, MS Team, we conducted our classes on MS Team, etc. So where you get a whiteboard option where you can write it, right? Option to chat, option to privately message. These are important features. And this is how you are adding value to consumers by dynamically updating features of the product. Okay? So hopefully your question is answered. When there is no container, package, etc., how can you still add value to your end consumer? So you continuously improve on features, add more features, eliminate the redundant features by observing participants and their challenges. Okay, so quickly moving on. These are some of the values that customer is looking for, and you can see that quality is definitely important. You have to have a quality product at the core of it. And India is a price sensitive market. But apart from that, what are the other values, okay, of your product? When people see that this cake has been ordered from a particular brand versus locally sourced or not known brand, etc., it definitely adds or deducts from the social value or esteem. So that is there with respect to your product. Please have a look at it. So in morning sessions, we discussed what from Kashmir. So place of origin branding. We say honey or apple or cherry from Kashmir and we stop there. Which is where we are not addressing all values which we can possibly add if we move beyond from Kashmir. So from Kashmir is our product. But what is beyond that which will add or enhance the values of your product? When you say that sourced carefully or grown organically or from the fertile land of Kashmir, sourced in a delicate manner, protected through this and then delivered at your doorstep. All these processes add value to customers. When you say only apple from Kashmir, it does not fulfill all the value. So you have to be for your kind of products. How do you present your product to customer? That is where the value comes from. Because when we say old wine in a new bottle, that's what is the English saying, right? Old wine in a new bottle. So wine inside is the same, only the bottles are different. So similarly, can you customize your product? Can you customize cherry? No. It is the same cherry that you are going to sell, But how do you differentiate this cherry from that or this saffron from that? This is where you are adding value. And which is why we are talking about containers, which is why we are talking about packaging, which is why we are talking about inscriptions on package, whether they are informational or they are appealing, whether they dictate do's and don'ts, whether they tell about directions for use, etc. When we see value in consumption and value in purchase, what do you mean by value in purchase?
If it's cost effective, if it's available.
Cost effective, which means value for money. Did you get a deal? No? The same jacket, if you are getting it for 500 and I am getting it for 700, and later I come to know that you got it for 500 from the same supplier, then I feel regret, right? And probably next time I will not go to the same supplier because it is differentiating between customer A and customer B. So that is value in purchase. The deal, the discounting, coupons, etc. But value in consumption is while you are consuming the product and how fun it is while you are consuming the product. Is it fun to unbox your product? Unboxing is also an experience for customer and do not underestimate that unboxing. So Apple as a product spends a lot on unboxing experience. The package, when you are opening it, is an experience in itself, and which is why you love to unbox Apple products, right? For your kind of products, can there be an unboxing experience, right? Is it sold in a package that's fun to unbox? People who want to unbox, what's in it? Or people are already curious what's inside, even though they know that they have ordered something. So this is where the stick we spoke about, no? With honey. That clicks the button there. Value for customer. While in consumption, so during consumption value, when we talk about these small things around your product, which is accessories around your product. So, Agri products we are talking about from the valley. So with theory, what will make sense along with the product? Please think about it. With honey, you know, when we said during consumption, unboxing experience around the product, we know what needs to be supplied along with the product. Similarly, can we think about what needs to be supplied along with the products on cherry or apple, which will add value by unboxing or by consuming the product?
With saffron, we can just go for some proper storage containers because saffron is more likely to get affected by the moisture and all. It has
Once opened,
yeah.
once
It has to
opened,
be
further when you store it, it might have
Proper
some
storage box.
impact. Yes. So instead of, so let me give you another example, case study rather. You all know about Tata Sampann? Sampann is brand for its spices. Tata Sampann. No? You don't get your advertisements?
Hold on.
So generally what happens, these spices container, right? Generally paper containers, these spices you might from Everest, from other brands, right? And you don't use spice in bulk. You use spice in small amount in household, right? Once you open that packet, what happens? It interacts with moisture. And the spice quality degrades. So first time the taste that you receive, second time you don't receive the same taste. It can also happen with your product. So this is a challenge from consumer point of view, though they ignore because they don't have any choice. Even the smallest packet you buy, you are not going to empty the entire packet first go. No? So you'll use it over a period of time. And Tata Sampann as a brand actually has made it big on this particular USP, that within that small paper box, they provide multiple sachets. So single use sachet. They know that suppose you need at least 10 grams of spices every time you use it. So you open, you are done. Now next time you will open another sachet. So what happens by virtue of this? Your spices are intact, the taste is intact, moisture interaction is not there, customer is also happy. Why? Because it is portable. You want to carry it somewhere, you can carry it without spilling, etc. So where do you think the value comes from? The spice might have the same taste as Everest spice or other spices, but the value comes from how you are presenting it to the customer. The utility is enhanced of the product, right? The third bullet point that you see. Utility of the product is enhanced because now mobility is there. The product can be carried. How utility is enhanced? Because taste is intact. So utility is enhanced of the product. Now, moisture interaction is not there. Again, value of the product is enhanced because otherwise it might get those small lumps, right? It might, people who use spices and you have opened it, the packet once, then you know what happens. So those small challenges of consumers, if you address, you are actually adding value without modifying the product. Without modifying the product. So it is not much if you consider cost point of view to business, but it is a great value to consumers, which is why they will prefer you time and again. Clear? So most of the Agri products that we have been discussing since morning, please think thoroughly that where and how you are going to add value without modifying the product. That is important. And these all can be digitally communicated.
And that's what's happening with the apples and these agri producers.
Absolutely.
The packaging, there's advanced packaging services. Earlier, paper, like newspapers were used and that's now there's a proper packaging that comes. Now paper price we call that. So that enhances the quality as well as the marketability.
So for your kind of products, please look into it. how can you enhance value of the product? Whether by increasing the shelf life of the product, whether by providing unboxing experience of the product, whether by providing accessories around your products that make purchase consumption experience better of the end consumer, right? Even if it is a food product or consumable product, all these scopes are there around your product. Okay? These are small cost to business but large value for your end consumers and in turn large value for your business. And all these can be digitally displayed, shown, talked about, in videos can be demonstrated, etc. Okay. So with that we move on. And how many case studies today around food and food products today we have discussed from ITC, from Tata Sampann to Tanishq is a different brand altogether dealing with commodity product. But for your kind of product, there are many interesting case studies from ITC. You can look at those. So now we move to, we have talked enough about value. But when we are talking about value, we need to know how to create first choosing value, USP. In your activities we have done, right? Choosing the right USP, that is choosing right value. Second is creating value. How do you create value around your product? Third is communicating value around it. And that is where we discussed about comparative product reviews, etc. Communicating value around your product. Okay? Then last but one is deliver value. How are you delivering value? Maybe you have a great product, you have a great packaging, you have a great container, etc. You are not able to deliver. Like many of you raised concern that if it is a glass container, logistically it is a challenge. Right? Might break, might be delivered broken at consumer doorstep, which is heartbreaking. They might not prefer your product altogether for the next time, etc. So how do you deliver value? Again, I told you in the morning session probably, thank you note. Thank you note, welcome note, invitation for next purchase, giving them access to other kind of products and services by virtue of their first purchase, which otherwise they don't have access to. For example, you people were talking about digital products where certain section of the platform is available to all consumers, but other sections are not. They have to pay a subscription fee to access those content. But for first time consumers, please you can provide 15 days trial access to like you are getting for YouTube Premium, etc. Right? Can it be done for these products that we are talking about for your kind of businesses? Please think, can it be done for your kind of businesses where you are delivering value to consumers and more value for future occasions, not for current purchase, more value for future occasions. How do you deliver more value with the current purchase? That's the question. What other questions we already did? How do we enhance the value of our product without modifying the product? And that's different from how do we deliver value to consumers? Right? And delivering enhanced value of our product that we have in hand, that you have written down. How do you deliver it in a way that provides more value to end consumers? Please think for your kind of product. How do you deliver? You can have exclusive logistic partners. That's one, exclusive, which means they are solely delivering your product. But that's a very expensive way of reaching out to consumers. So mostly small businesses won't be able to get it. Right? But you would have logistic partners which are shared with other businesses. For example, either Amazon or Flipkart, they are third parties associated with those e-commerce platforms and they are shared. So most likely your product is landed. Right? These are the delivery partners which are delivering your product. But can they be made more careful by delivering your products? Can they greet the customers differently while delivering your products? Or can they supply something else with the product, which indicates that it comes from a different vendor? Because now it all boils down to differentiating yourself from others while you are delivering the product. And how do you differentiate? Do you have access to Zomato and Swiggy recipients? Right?
Yeah.
These days, when you order from Zomato or Swiggy, you might be aware about another platform which is Eat Club or something. Are you aware? Not here? Okay. So they are coming from Zomato or Swiggy, they are delivering their product when you order from those platforms. They hand you over another coupon which is from a different platform. And then they say next time you order, if you are ordering from here, you will get this. Right? It's a different platform altogether. You have not ordered from them, you have ordered from Zomato or Swiggy. But this provides additional coupon for those products, discount. Right? This might not be an appropriate way to go about it, but I'm just sharing it as an example. Right? So, can you say that if you directly order from me versus you are ordering via Amazon or Flipkart, there is a difference. Right? So, directly ordering from you might be delivering more value to consumers by having a better price point or better discount or getting sample trial packages of other products which you are not providing or delivering via Amazon. That can happen, right? Which is exclusive delivery channels that you are establishing. Direct order from your site, like yesterday we were discussing about Kashmiri Mart or anything like that, you have a platform and you are encouraging the end consumers to place order directly with you than via any other platform. Why? Because here the consumers are getting added value. They might get free samples, other premium products, along with that, sometimes free trial packages, better discounts, better price points. This is what. So solely relying on one channel is not a good idea. You have to have 3-4 channels at the same time if you are in this business of reaching out to digital consumers. Of course, you will be available on all leading e-commerce platforms, Flipkart, Amazon, etc. But also have a direct channel of yours where the consumers can reach out and provide better deals there. Okay, more sample packages, etc. So we move on in the interest of time. I know 4:30 we need to wind up. Okay. So here, just to sum up the purpose of marketing, and read it as digital marketing for all of you. Okay. So you are trying to acquire new customers. You are trying to develop a new market. You are trying to add value. You are trying to also engage customers for a long term by giving them loyalty points. They can redeem the points, etc. etc. So when you have, for your kind of product, you have written down USP of the product and you want repeat purchase from your customer, it is better you have a loyalty program in place. Okay, for your type of product, loyalty program. Or redemption of certain kind of points that they earn during purchase from your platform. So you may offer loyalty program only on your platform and not on other platforms. This is how you are differentiating your platform from the rest. Okay? On Amazon, you are not providing any loyalty program, but they directly place order with you, you have a loyalty program in place. So please choose the right set of benefits to consumers where you are delivering great value to consumers for your type of product without modifying the product. Okay, so I will stop here with respect to digital marketing mechanisms and techniques, but just to test how much you have learned in today's session. A few questions. Okay, so now please tell me when you are searching for immunity boosters on Google, it throws you host of products, immunity boosters. What is that set called? On that list of products that you come across on web when you are searching for it, what is it called? Total set. Huh? So total set, you must appear in total set. That is a must. But where you should ideally appear? Choice set. There you must appear. So which means you need to drive the consumer from total set to awareness set to consideration set to choice set. How do you drive the consumer? Do you have any idea by end of today's session that how do you drive the consumer from one to the other? By deploying different interventions at the right place and how. This is what we discussed today. Okay? Now second question, when we say that choice set to you have added in cart, but cart abandonment might happen. Consumers may not purchase, may not pay. What is that digital intervention you need at that place? Sorry?
Calls.
Okay. Cause, time pressure, this is what discussed. What else? Motivating them to opt for a particular payment gateway which has 100% success rate in past, etc. Okay? Perfect. Now when we move from first time purchase to repeat purchases, what are the kind of digital interventions you can put in place? Sorry? Opens. Referral marketing. Referral marketing is what? For first time consumers, you are asking them that your friends, 50, 100 friends or family members, referral marketing makes sure what? Word of mouth about your product. So that you are in awareness set of people. It does that. Okay? So referral marketing, when to be put in place? First time purchase. After that, referral marketing is a must with first time purchase. For making them to do repeat purchase with reminders after the timeline that you have with your products. So 50 gram saffron 2 months cycle, 100 gram saffron 4 months cycle. You should maintain a metric. And then timely reminders for repeat purchase. That must happen. Okay. Cross-selling and upselling we have discussed. When to do cross-selling and when to do upselling. Remember that?
When customer is ready to buy, look at the values, tell them about the different products so that you can do the cross-selling.
Before adding to the cart, cross-selling might happen. With the help of recommendation engine. What goes better with product A? What from other customers from your area have purchased what with product A? So these are few types of recommendations that you get, which is where cross-selling happens. Upselling is what? When a customer has done repeat purchase with you for a couple of times, you can start giving them free samples of a higher priced item. Not for first time customer. No? For first time customer, you can do cross-sell. Repeat purchase, you can go for upselling. Okay? So all these you already know, but what we learned today is when, what and how. When to make the right kind of digital intervention and how. Right? So with that, I know he is coming to remind me that it's time to end the session. So if you have any question, I'm happy to take it up, or else I think
in interaction with the man, because she won't be here tomorrow. We are bringing her, she's leaving us in the early morning. If you could just get a clarification interaction with her, so it will be good before we leave her back to her own history.
So I hope today you learned something new and you learned something interesting, where it creates further curiosity to learn. So hopefully that has happened. And for some products we have already discussed case studies, hopefully that has been useful. If you have any question, please let me know, or else this is the end of today's session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other queries or interaction, or you're feeling the heat of going back? Please stay back. There are going to be, as I said, every session has a feedback. in your respective groups, there will be again a link as well for the feedback of today's 4 sessions that were conducted by Dr. Biswajit. Biswajit, I have to say,
Biswajit is a male name.
Okay, Biswajita is a female. Okay, Biswajita, ma'am has so feedback will be there also. Plus, for tomorrow's session, we will give you prior handout. We couldn't do it for today due to some other engagements. So, Ms. Gopika will hand over the tomorrow's resource person and what he is going to talk about with you, right? So ensure and plus ensure feedback at the time allotted. This is very important. Look here, you know time, how much time is a resource? Most of you don't recognize. Businessman must be knowing it. Time is everything for them. Right? So whenever we post in the group, make sure you do it on time. If even your food is delayed, you can compromise on that. But on the particular time, you have to give the feedback. I had to just ask you, I had to extend the feedback link. Yesterday's feedback link, most of you, I don't know whether they have given the feedback or not. So it's a negative thing. Right? So you give your feedback on time. I'll give you a grace of at around 10 o'clock, I'll be closing the link for today. Right? So that it will get recorded in my database of every day. And second, for the tomorrow's session, she will give the handouts for the tomorrow's session, right? The spokesperson that we have. So please hand over to them on the sheet, and you are free to leave for today. Hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you so